All right, so you're trading in Lynchburg for the beach.
Yes, yes, I am. Yeah.
Not a bad place to choose for
No,
your next stop in retirement.
Retirement, right? Yeah, there's worse places to go certainly, but I'm going to miss the people here, miss the community. It's as I've said before, a very very bittersweet moment. Grown up in essence in this department, and started here like 10 days after I turned 22 years old, and been here pretty much ever since. And seen the department grow, I've seen the community grow, and I've had the opportunity to build a lot of really good relationships in the community and the department. So it's tough to walk out, no question.
I would say in a lot of ways you're going out on a high note. Like, just opened headquarters here. Violent crime is down almost 20% in Lynchburg over last year. What do you attribute that to?
I think the violent crime reduction is twofold, right? One, it's the incredible work that the men and women in Lynchburg Police Department do every day here. A lot of that goes unseen by the public, but we've got some of the most dedicated employees that you will find, and they do just great work. And then it's partnerships in the community that is the other part of that, right? We've spent a lot of time over many, many years, long before I was the chief, building the relationships in the community and building authentic partnerships with people. And it's a combination of those two things, I think, that have really helped our crime numbers go down and made Lynchburg an even better place to live than it's been for many years.
What about headquarters?
Yeah, it's no, it's definitely a beautiful building. It's a great place for our folks, but I've said before, it's not about the brick and the mortar, the steel and the concrete. Really, it's about the people. And I think what I'm most proud of is not the building so much as I am that it provides a space for our staff to be safe, to be able to grow individually, to grow as a department, space that we can invite the community into, right? But if you've seen, and I know you have, the working conditions that our staff was in previous buildings, that get the work done they got done in those conditions was amazing. And now they've got a modern facility with all the technology they need, space that they need to be able to better serve our community, and just space they can be happy to come to work in, space they can be proud of, and a space that will help serve this community for many, many years to come.
Now, as you're looking at leaving, are there any programs or action plans that you implemented that you're now going to have to pass the baton on to somebody else, that you're excited to see what happens with them?
Yeah, I think one of the programs that's still up and coming in the department is our drone program. That's a great piece of technology. I mean, you guys use them for things as well, and they are a tool and an asset or resource that is invaluable to the safety of our officers, first and foremost, and certainly to our community as well. And so I really look forward to seeing where that grows over the years. There's still a lot of kind of runway for that, no pun intended. There's opportunities to use those in other ways that we're not using them right now. So I'm really excited to see how that goes. And then, we put in a stratified policing model a few years ago that's helped drive that crime number down as well. And we'll continue to tweak that, I'm sure, after I'm gone, to make it suit the needs of the department and the community as it continues to grow.
So, we're talking about stratified policing and violent crime going down. There were 39 homicides since 2019. So we'll say in all the years that you have been police chief, the majority of those have been closed or solved in one way or the other. There are, 8 still that are unsolved at this point. Do any of those haunt you? Is it difficult to walk away with those unsolved murders?
I think any crime that's a personal crime like a murder it touches not just the victims, certainly, and the families of the victims, right? But it touches our officers and our staff. And I think a lot of times people forget that we're human beings too, and we have the same challenges a lot of folks do when it comes to personal items and issues. Right. And I think certainly the Kingston Campbell case is one that prior to cleaning out my office yesterday, if you'd have come in here, you'd have seen the flyer from his service sitting at my desk. That's one that I'm a father, right? Just like you're a mother, and to lose a child at 6 years old for doing nothing other than being in the wrong place at the wrong time, and I say the wrong place, he was in his own home. That one's tough. our folks have done some amazing work on that case, and will continue to do that in hopes that we can bring that to resolution. And we still need the community's help with that. There's definitely people out there that have information that haven't come forward with that, but we'll continue to work that case. But yeah, that's one that definitely I'll certainly keep with me and take with me. It's no parent should ever have to bury their child, especially that young.
That was a difficult week. I feel like I got to the end of it, and I can't imagine what the department felt like. Even just covering it, it was just really heavy.
Yeah, it's one that you don't see something like that, and thank God that you don't that often. Again, any loss of life is a tragedy, but a 6-year-old child is just if that doesn't strike every person in our community, then there's something wrong with you.
So does it make you angry that someone hasn't come forward with the information that you need to solve this case?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's anger, it's frustration, it's disbelief, quite honestly. Again, if a case like that is not going to make you come forward, like, what needs to happen for you to come forward, right? I can't think of something much more tragic than that. And the fact that there's folks out there with information that for a variety of reasons maybe don't want to come forward is frustrating, definitely, without a doubt.
You had indicated a little over a year ago, Mark Spain sat down with you on Kingston's murder, and you had indicated that Kingston's murder and Terrion Marshall's were somehow connected. What's that connection? What can we do to solve those crimes? Yeah,
so because they're both open cases, I won't be able to specifically speak to what the connection is. They are definitely related. There's some of the same players, for lack of a better term, that we are looking at in those cases for different reasons, and I'll probably have to leave it there, unfortunately. The last thing I want to do is jeopardize those cases, because the goal of those of any case like that is not just to get someone arrested, right? It's to get them successfully convicted of whatever crime they've committed. So, but yeah, I remember sitting down with Mark, and what a loss. And I know he's near and dear to you, and someone I met early on. I remember he was, I think his first week here, he came out and did a story with me in the 1300 block of Pierce Street, and I can't even remember what the story was, but I remember him coming, introducing himself to me, and having that unique balance of personality and true care, with also, I'm going to ask the tough questions, but I'm going to do it in a way that is professional, and that gets to the information that needs to get out there to the community. And so he was always great to work with. What a loss for, I know, our community, and certainly for you all. He was a great man.
Terrion and Kingston's mothers, what is your message to them?
I think it's simple, right? One, first and foremost, our condolences continue to be with them. Again, as a parent, I can't imagine losing a child, and I know that although I'm leaving, I know I speak for every man and woman here in the police department that they will continue to do everything they can to ensure that the people responsible for their deaths are brought to justice. And obviously, folks always want that to be swift, as we do as well, but we also want to make sure that those investigations are thorough, and that ultimately we put together a case that can withstand a judge or a jury and lock these folks away for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, we had those 2 cases with those kids, Samantha Robinson, just driving down the street, shot and killed. What's the challenge in solving these?
A lot of times it is individuals that are involved in these cases strike some fear into our community because of either their involvement with violent crime, or in some cases with gangs. I think the challenge is a lot of folks just don't want to be involved, right? They may have witnessed something, or they may know some information, and they may fear retaliation. They may fear just being involved, so that their name is brought out there, or drugged through the media, or drugged through the neighborhood, or whatever it may be. And so we certainly have ways that they can provide that information anonymously, and we continue to encourage folks to do that through Crime Stoppers. They don't have to provide their name. And I think what people fail to realize sometimes is they may have a key piece of information that they think is irrelevant to a case, and it may be that one piece of the puzzle that we're missing that can tie everything else together. And so we'd encourage folks to come forward and do it anonymously if they aren't comfortable with coming forward and letting us know who they are.
Yeah, we were seeing these kids shot, these kids killed, and the city implemented a curfew that's set to be up for either expiration or renewal in March. Do you think it's an effective tool? Do you think it's helped to clean up the streets? Do you think the city should continue with this curfew?
Yeah, I do think it's an effective tool. It's you've heard me say probably before. It's another tool on the tool belt for our officers that allows them, at 2 o'clock in the morning when they see someone who appears to be under 18 years of age walking down a neighborhood street with a backpack on. There's probably not a lot of really good explanation for that, right? But without a curfew in place, the officers have to develop some other reasonable articulable suspicion to stop or detain those individuals, where the curfew being in place allows officers to do that. First and foremost, obviously identify them to determine if they're 18 or not. If they are, away they go, right? If they're not, then ask some more questions on what they're doing out there, because what we find is a lot of the juveniles in our community that are involved in crime are looking through cars late at night. They're pulling door handles, they're stealing items from cars, sometimes stealing cars themselves, and we have a significant number of firearms that get stolen out of vehicles, right? And certainly the whole other conversation about leaving a gun in a car, which is not a great idea, but they're not lockers, right? They're not safes, they're vehicles, but I do think it's been a good tool, and certainly it'll ultimately be up to City Council on whether they want to renew that again, but that's something that I think has helped our officers try and address some of the crime we see in the community, especially that crime that we see being performed by younger adults or juveniles in this case.
What do you think is going to be the biggest challenge for the next police chief?
I think it's just continuing to maintain those relationships in the community. I've had the joy of being here for 29 years in this department, in this community, and 7 years as the chief. And I've had the luxury of building a lot of really good, authentic relationships with people in the community where they feel comfortable having conversations with me that they might not with someone they don't have a relationship with. So I think it's making sure we continue those relationships, because if we don't have those as a department, it makes it very hard for us to do our jobs.
Yeah. You raised your family here. You say you grew up with this police department, having been here since you were 22 years old. What's the hardest part about moving on?
Yeah, I think it's leaving behind some really great friends, some great coworkers, and some great people in this community. I'll tell you, I came here, at the tail end of 1996, started here right at the beginning of 97. I was from Western New York, outside of Buffalo, and wasn't sure how I'd be accepted, quite honestly, right? And I can tell you that had every intention. My original plan when I moved here was to be here for 3 years and to move on to federal law enforcement.
I had that
Yeah, yeah, and Lynchburg has a way of sucking you in a good way, right? It's a great community. I call it a Goldilocks zone, right? In that it's big enough that there's things to do, but it's not so big that you deal with big city problems, right? And so leaving behind a lot of folks and a network of people that I know well, that I trust, that trust me, that's going to be difficult. There's a lot of folks here who've been very kind to me over the years and who have helped me in ways that I couldn't even begin to describe, and have mentored me as a police officer, people that have helped me grow as a young man, and I look back at all those folks over almost 3 decades, and I just feel very lucky to have landed here in Lynchburg and to be exposed to those folks. They've helped me kind of become who I am today, and my hope is I can continue to stay in contact with all of them, and certainly visit periodically. I definitely don't want to lose touch with them.
So I guess you have your sunscreen and your beach towel packed at this point, right?
I'm going to definitely have to work on my tan. There's no doubt about that, but yeah, it's a great community there as well, certainly, and excited about the opportunity there to get to learn the area and learn the men and women of the department, and build those relationships internally in the department as well as in the community like I have here. And I feel like I've got a fairly good blueprint from here to take with me, and hopefully can replicate that there with some great people there.
Hey, thanks for watching. Make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch more videos from ABC 13 WSET.